There were many companies that actually let go of staff. They let go by saying that, sorry, we don't have a job for you, we don't have a position for you.
Never thought of a scenario coming up for us.
We spent 2 and 3 crores, 1 crore to 3 crores to build an experience, not just to sell delivery.
We have no idea what's next.
Hey, pigeonhole, I'm shitting on these bitches when they do. Wish I could forgive and let it go. But they said I couldn't, and I wouldn't. Did it on my own too. Now it's time to spread my wings and go. Yeah.
Well, the hotels still were all closed down till June. So April, May, June, there was no business. Things have started moving since 5th of June. That's when we were allowed to given permission. And the business has been growing at the rate of about 8% per month.
The first few months were, I think, extremely uncertain, highly anxious. Then I guess the entire industry went into seeing how we could go into contingency measures.
Everything from rentals to staffing to being able to get ingredients on time to run, properly. I think it's been affected across the board.
The initial days are much different from where we are today. The initial days was a lot of uncertainty. We didn't know how long this is going to be, how severe this is going to be, what is going to be the impact in the world. And I think now we have some sort of clarity, but there's more to be known about what's happening around us. Every day we have hope that there is a better day tomorrow.
Set contingency plans with the landlords. What do we do for the 6 months of rent? Should we keep business going? Should we shut business? What happens to all the stock that you have? We are a bar, so we keep beers and other spirits. So do they expire? Should we throw them or keep them? There were a lot of sort of never thought of scenario coming up for us.
So what we did is we started consolidating our business. So where there were 2 or 3 hotels in one city, we consolidated business into one hotel, continued operating that hotel, and shut down the other hotels.
For youngsters who want to do the restaurant business with the pandemic, the 30-40% who shut down are the youngsters who wanted to do this because they thought they were foodies. They 2-3 of them got together, little loan from their family, and they thought they'd get a chef, they'd get a manager and do it. And not being in the business for a long time, just to make money. And the father, the chartered accountant, pressurizing them, boss, you're losing money, you're not making even 10%. Banks can give me that much. So those guys have shut shop, not realizing that this was going to be a long run. You want to do a restaurant, commit 10 years. Otherwise, don't do it.
But the F&B industry is one of the largest employers in India. I believe second only to the IT industry. And directly itself, we employ over 70 lakh people.
There were many companies that actually let go of staff. They let go by saying that, sorry, we don't have a job for you, we don't have a position for you, we don't have money to pay your salary, and allowed them to leave or let them go.
We as a company took the decision that while the world was shut, nobody would be adversely affected. So nobody lost a job, nobody lost the salary. And that is how we handled it. And then as we started coming out of lockdown, and as you know, even in our industry, different states opened up at different times.
There was the Vande Bharat mission flights that were coming where Indians who were stranded abroad were being repatriated and brought back to the country. Many hotels started taking that business. Very low rates, but it was more like a kind of a initiative to support the communities where hotels started taking this business, started accommodating guests, started feeding them, etc. But what did that do? While it may not have made money for the hotel, it kept the home fires burning.
And we in the restaurant community have lost also some of our stalwarts who were really big pillars of the NRAI.
So we went into what we at Marriott call the Marriott on Wheels exercise, and started to deliver food at home.
QSRs will survive because they are like more or less delivering and takeaway. So that's allowed. Dine-in is going to suffer a lot because we spend 2 and 3 crores, 1 crore to 3 crores to build an experience, not just to sell delivery.
So we, in fact, invested heavily in taking biodegradable cutlery, crockery, glasses, so that they were one-time use only. So a lot of people obviously did not like initially to use biodegradable, disposable cutlery, but I mean, eventually they understood that it's an added expense for us.
We have no idea what's next. This wave, I'm sure, will subside in a month or two.
We just learned a lot about what everybody was doing. We were adapting best practices that people were doing. We were adapting the norms that the government had laid out, social distancing and, sanitizing your hands and washing your hands for 20 seconds and stuff like that. So those are the things we created a docket for our own employees, for our own managers, for our own owners as well, even for our guests who are going to be booking with us. We created a docket that is presented to every guest on check-in.
And if everybody gives in there, I think we've learned a lot of lessons, a lot of valuable lessons from the COVID. How to reduce costs, how to reduce on manpower, how to reduce on food costs.
I think we've come up with innovation with the use of technology. Today, you can walk into any restaurant and do not have to ask for a menu. You do not need to actually have a paper bill. You can order online on your phone, on your iPad.
We had hired a consultant chef who took, at that point on Zoom, I think all our kitchen staff, some of them who were not properly educated, even the junior guys, and explained to them the difference between a virus and a bacteria, how it spreads, how temperature works, how even leaving certain items outdoors for a particular amount of time can help us eliminate the chance of contact virus.
As hotels and states and cities started opening up, we also realized there are a lot of people who wanted to get out of their house. If nothing else, they would just get out of their home and check into a hotel in the same city.
And then we had all our cutlery sealed in paper pouches after they were washed in our dishwasher with sodium nitrate. That was done pre-pandemic also.
The wedding segment, the MICE segment, which is only the weddings. There were no exhibitions happening. There were no conferences happening, obviously. Only weddings. The wedding segment was something that kind of did well.
For social distancing, we had to keep alternate tables empty. So we came up with a very cool idea. We put mannequins on those tables, which of course others are doing as well worldwide. But what was the olive idea was we tied up with some of the country's leading designers who were our friends and supporters and vice versa. And they dressed these mannequins in their latest collections. And then we jointly spread the buzz around that. So that was great for customers coming in. They got the message of social distancing and the importance of that. And they also got to see the latest styles of the designers. They had these mannequins all dressed up sitting next to them. And it was a fun, very olive way of enforcing regulations, of driving the point home what needs to be done, but with style and a sense of humor.
Lack of ingredients that are available in the market, so your menu has to change. There is no option. You have to start doing things around the ingredients that are available, not just available one time, right? They have to be available on a regular basis, consistency of product.
For the first time in 15 years, created an olive day product. So opened Olive all day long, brought in a new chef and created a very cool gourmet all day menu.
So I think we didn't have to do much with the menu. It was made for deliveries.
So we had to cater to a very different audience. So not everyone orders luxury food in times of crisis. They want peace of mind. So a lot of people were ordering food just to fill their stomachs, just to have a meal and then, survive that day. So we thought that let's try something new.
It was very exciting for our regulars and for a lot of new customers to come and experience Olive in the daytime. And that helped us offset to some degree the losses of revenues because of the constraints we had to work under.
The founders, the directors of the company, we were constantly in touch with our owners. We were having to do with a lot of Zoom calls, etc. With our teams, we were constantly in touch with our phones and communication groups set up on.
We've worked many years to create great dining experiences through food and warm service and ambience, right from the time you get out of your car to the time you go back in. And this doesn't, homemakers and home chefs don't affect that experience at all.
I just look at them as another restaurant or another delivery kitchen. It's not, what to call them, home bakers or home chef. It's just another product that's out in the market for people to buy.
To be honest, it didn't affect us too much in our line of work. But yes, to a lot of fellow restaurateurs who run cafes or bakeries, there was a huge shift that happened because people obviously found the opportunity to try home chef food for the first time. And it, because of the technology that's there, it's so easy to come to know who's cooking what. There were even apps catering to specifically home bakers, where you could know who's baking some kind of bread, etc. So it definitely did impact the, say, confectionery business to a major extent. But once things reopened and it got back towards a regular dining experience, people started going back to their old favorites.
Home chefs are our bane now, our single largest enemy, because they don't have any investment. Okay, they are working from a zero environment, endangering the life of the society people. If you were cooking from home and you started making pizzas and started selling it at a price which you thought you were still making money, but you don't have any overhead costs. You don't have a rent. You're not paying your father rent. You don't have any commercial licenses. You don't have any license, police license, FSSAI, fire, excise, BMC, nothing. There should be a tax on home chefs. The government should realize that if you want to be a home chef, yeah, pay 30% tax.
But we need to be realistically positive, not stupidly positive.
We would like to believe that the vaccine is going to be the game changer for all of us. But we need to realize that if one country is ahead of the other, it doesn't help. All countries have to move at the same pace because there has to be travel internationally.
On the whole, the industry has learned a very valuable lesson in the sense that fewer people can go much further.
I think we've found many progressive ways to be able to take steps that allow us to see our future much more positively.
Let's be patient. We are fortunate. We've survived this the last 13 months, the last 12 months.
We had support from everybody, from our landlords to our staff, and just across the board, people that were willing to work to make ends meet, I would say.
It was a wake-up call for a lot of us. And I still think it's a wake-up call for a lot of us to improve our lives, to make it a little bit less complicated.
You don't need to run like a madman. You need to introspect. I think this gave me a lot of time to introspect into myself, into the family. Okay, boss, this is okay. Bring it on. Let's see what happens. It's not happening to me alone. It's happening to a lot of people.
It's pretty criminal what's happening in our country and how difficult it is for so many. So do every little bit you can. Every little bit counts. Cheers.